meeting of the undefeateds. Mohayman from the East Coast, Nyquist from the West Coast. It's a big day again as Racing Across America lives up to its name. We're here live from Gulfstream Park. We're going to kick off the show with one of the guys we see regularly up in Saratoga. In fact, Terry Finley from West Point Thoroughbreds. Good morning, Terry.
Absolutely, Seth. Great to be on with you.
And happy to have you.
I want to talk about everything except Donald Trump. Is that fine? I mean, what's set the ground rules?
That's perfect for me, believe me. And in fact, if you want to move off the topic and get to NCAA basketball, I have on my Syracuse colors today.
You and Tommy Bellhouse. You know he's a big Q's fan.
Well, I graduated, and so I was thrilled last weekend when they won. And about an hour later, I said, oh, wait a minute. And I looked at my schedule for Saturday night. I leave here at 8:49. They tip off at 9:30. Yeah, it's kind of brutal. But I'm going to be rooting for them en route back to Albany and hoping that we get the win. And Monday night I'll be able to watch live. All right, Terry, let's talk a little horse racing. You have a horse entered for today, Twilight Eclipse, main track only in the Pan American. People are wondering, misprint or not. And with the weather, as I say, it's overcast, but I would assume we'll stay on the grass today. So Twilight Eclipse, the guys in Schenectady will pull up the replay when he got his grade 1 last season. Now, he went into that Man of War offer race in the Pan American. So what's going to be the game plan this year? Elkhorn at Keeneland?
Yes. We thought at the beginning of the week it would rain a good part of the week, and he certainly doesn't like the soft course. So we just thought we'd try something a little different. He didn't seem to take to the course at the beginning of the winter. So we're just, he just turned 7. So I think we want to switch some things up. We'll take him to Keeneland, and then we'll go back to Belmont to defend our title in the Man of War.
Yeah, it was exciting to see him get that grade 1.
Yeah,
I've been saying for months leading up to that. He had a grade 1 waiting there on the resume. Got it last summer in the Man of War down at Belmont. And so do you think you'll pop around on the dry dirt later in the year?
Well, I talked to Tommy Bellhouse, and I talked to Tom Albertrani. I mean, we're seriously giving it a thought. I love the fact that they're starting to run a little bit further in the Northeast. I know there's a 1.5-mile race, there's a 1.75-mile race. So yeah, we're going to keep it in the back of our mind because he had run well. He's a graded stakes winner on dirt. He won at Calder one day in a graded stake off the grass. So we have it in our thinking, so to speak.
All right, we'll keep watching for that as the year progresses. Let's talk some other action, and again, with Twilight Eclipse out on the MTOs, maybe we won't see West Point action here today, but we will see potential stakes action. Turfway Park, it's Spiral Day. One of the undercard stakes is the Rushaway. You guys have Scholar Athlete in there. I have them pulling up a race from last September up at Woodbine. Scholar Athlete will win on the synthetic at Woodbine last September, on the synthetic again this afternoon in the Rushaway. What are you expecting?
Well, this is his third start back off the layoff, and our goal is to get him to the Queen's Plate and to win the Queen's Plate. So we think it's a perfect spot. We were tempted to go into the Spiral, a lot more money, but a lot tougher horses. We'll probably be 3-1 or 5-2 in there. I know there are a couple really nice horses, but I think we fit on paper, and I think it'll give us a good. It'll put us in a good spot to go back up to Woodbine to start the quest to get to that Queen's Plate. So everything's good. He's been a neat horse. Actually, we bought him here at the Phasig sale. He's a colt by Einstein, and I think he's an exciting horse.
And again, that's the Rushaway on the undercard to the Spiral today at Turfway. And then I have to ask, looking out, and the guys will pull up a video of this as well. Now a 5-year-old Empire Dreams, and we're pulling up that New Year's Eve race down at Aqueduct, the Alex Robb, a ding-dong battle between Empire Dreams and Saratoga Snacks. Empire Dreams pulls it out for you guys. I texted Tommy Bellhouse and saw you and Tommy in the winner's circle right after that race. That had to be very satisfying because Saratoga Snacks is a nice horse in his own right. And as I say, that is a ding-dong stretch battle. What's coming up for Empire Dreams?
Well, I think back to that day because we took Frank the bartender from Saratoga, we took him down to Aqueduct, and we just had a great day. I mean, it was, we laughed and cried, and we just had a wonderful experience down there. So we gave him a couple months off. We're getting ready to bring him back. We turned 5. He's a really neat horse, and we're hoping to make him a New York, or to get over the $1 million mark. I think that'd be cool for a New York bred that we paid $35,000 for at a 2-year-old in training sale. So we're hoping that 2016 is Empire Dream's year.
Yeah, like I say, it was a very satisfying way to end 2015, and he's a promising year ahead of him as well. Look forward to him coming back. You made news also for folks who kind of horses that fans can kind of latch on to. They go out, they give it their all every time. They win a lot of races. You just announced the other day you retired Ground Transport.
Yeah. Well, we bought him as a 3-year-old. We bought into him as a 3-year-old. We thought he could be a Derby horse, and he didn't quite get onto the Derby trail. You know, he was 5th in the Louisiana Derby as a 3-year-old, and then he just, for the last couple of years, he's bopped around. I think he ran at 12 different tracks all over the country, and really just a neat horse and the kind that we love to have our hands on. And it was just time. He had run a couple poor races, so we made sure that we put him into a spot where he's going to have a great home for the rest of his life. And I think that's a wonderful story. And I see that happening more and more all over the country. And it's a great feeling to be part of a business that we know that we take care of our own. And I know that we'll continue as an industry to do a better and better job at that.
Yeah, you're right. Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance has really come to the fore over the last few years in finding second careers for a lot of these horses. And as I say, fans get attached to some of these real workhorses, like a Ground Transport. I mean, you had Awesome Gem, those kind of horses, Twilight, Eclipse. You get really attached, and so it's great to know they'll have a happy retirement or second career. And a lot of them now, a lot of these real everyday kind of claimer horses, they're going on to be jumpers or whatnot and extending things out a few years.
And they do a good job because they've got the competitive spirit.
Yeah.
They've got the physical ability, and not all of them, but a good number of them have the temperament. So when they put all those things together, and you get them into hands of, say, a young girl that is really trying to make a horse, a 14 or 15-year-old girl, I mean, the stories are magical all over the country, and I think they'll continue to be, better and better.
Yeah, they have been great stories, and it's kind of picked up over the last few years. All right, let's kind of talk a little bit about West Point Thoroughbreds and philosophies and whatnot. Folks can go to your website, westpointtv.com, for more information. And it's a nice website, too. You can keep up with all the horses and, results and previews of where they're going next, news for the stable as well. But I was interested in one of the articles. I was looking at the website last night, talked about what you had going on at the 2-year-old sales earlier in the year. And that's kind of a focus for you, right? The 2-year-old sales.
They are,
Talk about that and what your philosophy is at West Point Thoroughbreds.
Well, we don't go to the sales, and we can't go to the sales and buy at the very top end. We can't get the athlete and the pedigree. So if we're going to get one and not the other, we're going to get the athlete. And really, the 2-year-old sales are the places all over the country that you can go, really do your homework, bring in your team to do all the analysis. And we think I'll get a lot of value. And I know there are certainly a large group of people in our business that go to the yearling sales and do really well. And we buy about 10 yearlings a year. But the 2-year-olds will buy 15 to 20 every year. And, that's where we know, we believe that we know the customers, and we know the sellers, we know our competitors, and we know the process. And that puts us in a comfort position. And we're in there fighting and swinging, just like a lot of other people. But we find that it's a really good way, especially to bring partners out to the scene and to bring them to the Breeze show, and then to the couple days between the Breeze show and the sale. And we think it turns into an event, and it helps to get people to come into the business and also to stay in the business. And absolutely, that's what we want. We want people to come in and to stay into our great business.
And talk a little bit about what you look for when you go to the sales, because like in Empire Dreams and New York bred, are you looking for New York breds? Are you looking breeding-wise? What kind of horses are you looking for? Physically, what are you looking for?
Well, I think if you would see a thread through our purchases, but we're not exactly on the same thread with every single horse, and we're just looking for value, and we're looking for horses that we think have the mechanical ability, the athletic ability, but also the biomechanical ability to one, to be competitive on the big circuits, and two, to stay sound, because it's a war of attrition. You got a group of horses that after the 3-year-old year will go to Kentucky to be stallions, right? But the other ones you've just got to keep around, and you've got to keep them on the racetrack. And I think that puts us in a position where we're always thinking about that. And I think every year we get a little bit better and we build our institutional knowledge, but every year we start at square one when the first horse or a 2-year-old goes through the ring. But it's really a fun and intriguing and a captivating process for all of us, and I think it's one of the coolest part of my job.
That's interesting. I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right. You can have a horse like Twilight, Eclipse. You can have some of these superstars, and the next year you're starting from square one.
Yeah, I bring it up. It's just like a pro baseball team. You get to the World Series, and all of a sudden you got a couple guys that retire. You got a couple guys that go in the free agents. You get a couple guys that are hurt, and all of a sudden you look at your team and you say, what happened? And I think 2016 we're doing that. You know, we've had some horses go here and there, get hurt, and retired a stud, and we're like, all right, well, it's time to get to work to rebuild in 2016. I hope the second part of 2016 will be we'll be in a position where we're like, okay, now we're on the upward path.
Yeah, we'll certainly look for some of those 2-year-old babies to show up at Saratoga by
yes,
all
sir.
means. Look for those. The very distinctive West Point Silks. Talk a little bit about, you alluded to it earlier, talking about the breeze shows. You bring some of the partners out. There's a number of pictures on the website of just that. The partners really enjoying themselves. Certainly up at Saratoga, we see a lot of that, the partners coming out. Talk a bit about partnership, syndicate racing, and just kind of the social aspect of it as well.
Yeah. I see some people that win races that own horses all by themselves, and their winner circles are way too small. Like, they just don't seem to be having as much fun as all the partnerships do.
I know you guys have fun.
Well, and a lot of other partnerships do as well, because you get to share that, most of the times you're getting bad news or you're not running well, right? But every once in a while you're going to have good news, and the thrill and the excitement is off the charts, and to get to share that with friends and associates and fellow owners, I think is really one of the things that helps with the partnership business. Now, it takes the right person and the right outlook and a temperament to get into a partnership, but we're finding more and more people, even if they've been in the game and they get beat up and they have some horses that are destined to be all right, but they turn out they're not all right, and they come into the partnership game. I hear it time and time again, Seth. They say, boy, I wish I would have got here sooner. I like this. I like all these things. I don't like the fact that I don't have a total decision-making power. But once you get accustomed to that, I think more and more people are in a position where they don't care, as long as they're with a good partnership that they know. The managers are thinking about their investments every day. And I will tell you, most of the good partnerships, the managers are thinking and trying to figure out what to do and to make good decisions every day. I know we do.
Yeah, and as I say, I watch what you guys do. We're familiar with you and Tommy and the whole team. We see you guys having a lot of fun up at Saratoga, so it's easy to watch and root for the West Point horses. We certainly wish you a lot of good luck this afternoon with Scholar Athlete in the Rushaway at Turfway. Looking forward again to the return of Empire Dreams, those 2-year-old babies up at Saratoga. Folks can get more information, westpointtb.com. Check it out if you have any interest in maybe looking up and becoming part of a partnership. Terry, appreciate the visit. Good luck.
Absolutely, Seth. I appreciate it.
We're going to head to a tape piece now. Thursday morning, we were out at Palm Meadows, talked to Kieran about Mohaman, Kieran McLaughlin. We'll get a little look out also at Mohaman out on the Palm Meadows track. He had a little gallop on Thursday morning. Kieran McLaughlin up next. Stay tuned. All right, why don't we start out with the big horse? Talk a little bit about Mohaman. How's he coming into the race?
Mohaman couldn't be doing better. He's training